We are live, ladies and gentlemen. What is Gucci Manucci's? Welcome to the Half Court Podcast. I am Darwin. We got AV behind the camera, and I got my guy, my homie, Oscar Hoyos.
Hey, Darwin. It's good to be
Loza.
back.
Is it Loza?
It's Loza, baby.
Okay. Got it. I got it, man. Episode 10, man. This is crazy. You're already in episode 10, but before we talk about what you do and get into, like, your career and what you're going for and stuff like that, we're going to start off with something hot before it becomes cold, and that is the Super Bowl show, the Super Bowl.
Yeah, the Super Bowl.
So give me your thoughts on that, man.
Man, with the Super Bowl, it was crazy. I really honestly believed San Francisco was going to win the whole thing. Only reason was San Francisco had the best defensive line that I've ever seen. All first-round draft picks. Defensive linebackers were phenomenal. They had Jimmy G. They were doing amazing things the whole way. Nobody believed in them except Coach O here.
They have a good defensive team. They're excellent, right?
Right.
But I should have bet money with you, man.
We should have bet money on it.
Yeah, man. You got the comeback kid, though. Like,
you got the comeback kid,
Mahomes.
and it upsets me every time. Kansas City is down by 10 points every single game in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And they come back.
Yeah.
The comeback kid. Somebody once told me during the game, Kansas City's got them right where they want them when they were down by 10. And they were right.
So let me tell you this. Did you see that play? Did you think that it was like really close to, I want to say the third quarter. I could be wrong if I'm wrong. Correct me. But where one of the San Francisco players stepped out of bounds and fuck, I think it was that play. Was it the No, I think it was the Chiefs. They stepped out of bounds. But he was still, I think it was Mahomes that was still able to make that touchdown, but they counted it as a touchdown when it was supposed to be out of bounds. That's what a lot of people were saying.
Right. So I know which play you're talking about. Patrick Mahomes gives the ball, the wide receiver, he tries to run it in. He steps his foot out of bounds.
What do you think about that play?
The 1 yard line. That was a touchdown. And let me explain why. A lot of people don't know this. People still believe you're out right when you get out. No, it's right where the ball is placed. So the moment you stick your arm out, that is an extra at least 3 feet. So that's why they gave him the touchdown. It's where the ball is when you step out of bounds.
Okay.
So he might have stepped out at the 1 yard line, but the ball was over the plane. So even though I was rooting for him to miss it, for it to go to fourth down, it was still a legal touchdown.
All right.
So that's where people got confused, and I can understand why.
All right, congratulations to the Chiefs. They deserve it, but I'm going to talk about the halftime show. That really got me on one. That's why I'm repping the Puerto Rico, the Super Bowl halftime show got me acting unusual. But what did you think about the Super Bowl halftime performance?
Halftime performance, great women representing Latin America and also representing many parts of the world, because not only did they sing in English, Spanish, but there was also a little bit of Arabic, a little bit of Portuguese, and many different languages throughout the entire world that people have not taken credit of. A lot of people were not big fans of it, and I don't know why. You have gorgeous women, their 40s and 50s, that are doing things that women that are in their 20s cannot do at all.
Exactly.
This is the real question. Who got a stiffy? Who got a stiffy during that?
My hand down for right now.
All right, so here is my problem with that. So I thought that performance was amazing. It's something different. They did a perfect, a spectacular. I couldn't ask for anything better than that. Why, when I go to Twitter, everybody's talking about it, like in a negative way? Not only Twitter, it was Facebook, because that Facebook has like the old people, your mid 30s, 40s, and 60s, and then you got the Twitter, which is the young.
They're being racist as fuck, huh?
Say what?
They're being racist as fuck.
Brother, this was out of this world, and you want to know where I saw all the complaints and tweets? Like, if I go to comments right now, there's a couple of comments, and I'm gonna maybe link up here, put it here on the screen. There was a couple of comments of old ladies saying, "Oh, this was inappropriate. This was not for my kids. This was not, what is this?" They're putting anybody in the halftime show. Like, these were people that shop every day at Bass Pro Shop. These are people that wear New Balances from Kmart. and Kmart is closed.
Right.
They're not open anymore.
So,
You know what I'm saying? Like, what is the deal?
This is what upset me a little bit. And I'm gonna back you up on this. When they said that they're putting complete nobodies out there, when they're putting people that don't deserve to be on there. Number one, if you didn't know this, Shakira, every single time she drops an album, she is the number one selling artist in the entire world. At least 22 countries purchase the album. That's why I said world. More countries buy her album every time it drops than any other performing artist.
Did you watch that halftime performance?
Yeah.
She played the guitar. She played the drums. She sang English, Spanish, Arabic. She did her Colombian dance, her ritual thing. She did a lot of things. She shaked her ass. She still got it.
And she don't even got that much ass. She shaked that thing.
She shaked it better than J-Lo. She out-shaked J-Lo. Like,
I like them petite bitches.
So I don't know what is the deal. Like, why are you mad at that when you have cheerleaders? They're cheerleaders for the Cowboys and like all these big teams. They're fucking naked.
I was waiting for Los Tigres del Norte to pop up in that motherfucker.
Bro.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, I like.
And then the guy from Maroon 5 last year.
Right.
He took off his shirt. He had these models and dancers touching him. Was that inappropriate? I didn't see anybody tweet about that.
No, I didn't see anybody tweet about that either. But I don't really understand this. The NFL is giving people opportunities that have not been seen in generations.
That's a switch, right? They're following. They know what the trend is.
Exactly. And a lot of people.
The Latin community is raising.
So it got introduced to Bad Bunny. A lot of people have no idea who Bad Bunny is, but they finally introduced him. He's even going to be in the NBA game for the All-Stars. So a lot of people don't know who these people are, so they're giving opportunities to people that have never received an opportunity of this caliber.
Exactly.
And I think it's phenomenal, not only for the Hispanic community, but for the entire world and the entire diaspora, because people are finally getting opportunities that have never been seen before. Now, I like the difference. I like the change. It's not just the same thing that we've seen over and over and over again. And it's exciting for people.
Let me tell you what's the problem here for all the people that were criticizing it, these white entitled people, right? So these guys are afraid of change because clearly that was a great performance. It was something different. And a lot of tweets were like, oh, why are we having these Latino people here and having these change? You guys are afraid of change because you guys have been working for a company for 20 plus years. You're looking forward to get your Social Security check. And when you see a change, you're not used to it. You don't like the change because you're just used to waking up to your 9-to-5 job and you're just salty that there was a different change in the Super Bowl. That's all it was. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can argue about it. A lot of different people.
You haven't traveled? All you travel is to Louisiana to the cornfield?
It was probably like that's the real conservative, you know what I'm saying? But that's what makes it fun,
Nah, bro. Like, yeah, it's just nah. I just think it's just they went a little too overboard on it. I don't think it was a big deal for everybody to be commenting.
No.
At the end of the day, it's freedom of speech though, so they can do whatever the fuck they want. Really.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying it here too. I'm just making sure I make a statement here, and some people also need to get educated because they were confusing the Puerto Rican flag with the Texas flag. The tweets were hilarious.
And Puerto Rico's part of the United States.
But then I saw a meme that somebody, photoshopped a meme of Donald Trump saying, like, oh, this happened.
Hey, at least you got papers, man. Be quiet. You're complaining about his flag being in the Super Bowl and shit. There's people out here that can't even get a job.
Yo, I'm just saying, like, we need to stop complaining, bro. Ever since we have social media, we just need to stop complaining.
It was a hell of a show. It was a hell of a show.
It was a hell of a show for sure. But let's just jump on to the next thing, man. We still gonna be popping, period. Latino gang, period. All right, Oscar, let's just talk about what you do and what are your plans for the future. So kind of tell everybody what you do and what are your plans.
Right. So what a lot of people don't know this about me is I'm one of the athletic directors in Oklahoma City Public Schools. I rep it out as much as I can, try and make sure that a lot of people are actually in support of Oklahoma City Public Schools because it doesn't have the greatest name in the world. So I'm primarily targeting middle school and even younger students to get them more in athletics because a lot of people don't know this. 99% of student athletes graduate from high school. Student athletes have higher GPA, test scores, and everything else in between than it's your regular student. So my job is primarily trying to work with other organizations, Oklahoma Cleats for Kids, Fields and Futures, try and make sure that we have better fields in Oklahoma City public schools to make sure that
For reals, bro, because when I went to Roosevelt, we had some shitty uniforms. They were probably there for like years, bro. Like the numbers were falling off of them and shit. Like,
So your job as a partner, just make sure everything's on point.
Right. So my job is to make sure that every single child has the opportunity to play the sports that they want to play. So if that means they want to participate in golf, something that's not a big thing, I want to try and give them that opportunity. Try and give them more things, not even in non-athletic events. Like I've already started a chess club for some of the schools. Try and make sure that kids have opportunities where they've never seen them before. Because I grew up in Oklahoma City Public Schools. Aaron grew up in Oklahoma City Public Schools. So I remember my childhood growing up. We didn't have nothing.
They're not the best, huh?
It's not, so that's why I'm saying it always had a bad name, right? Like nobody wanted to go to.
I think it's one of the worst. No, like
Huh? Yes, a lot
public.
of
I mean, it's up there. Like,
like one of the
when I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna put it like this. When I went to Roosevelt, it was like a prison, bro. To be honest, like there was people selling drugs in that bitch. That was like it was bad, bro. Like for a young innocent kid to walk into that. One day it was in the music class. It was a new teacher. They put it was like this kid that had just got out of jail, so he had like the ankle monitor and shit.
Yeah.
And this dude, the teacher took him outside, so his homie grabbed a piano or whatever, put it on the door, locked it, and then all the kids started just throwing shit in the middle of the class. Like the tubas, violins, desks, they started punching the wall, took the insulation out. Madness, bro. Like when the officer and everybody finally came through and like opened the door, the teacher came in and saw the pile of just shit in the middle, and then all the students just like sitting down in their desk, like or in the chair, because they started throwing desks and everything, because that's
just the school culture that was implemented for years.
Like it was just like
it was a
bad, bro.
issue, school culture issue. You know,
Gangs was a big one. Like at the time, it was like Centrals and South Side. So like sports, you know what I'm saying? People ain't looking at fucking. Nope. Like the ones that do sports, they just, I mean, they get lucky or I don't know, bro. But for the most part, it was like, I'm telling you, that kid had just got out of jail, had an ankle monitor, like.
Right.
So.
And
that's
it's disturbing
crazy
to hear all these stories. And you know, I always have to tell kids like what I came from is I graduated from OKCPS. I had a full ride scholarship for athletics. So sports really helped me out a lot to try and make sure that where I am. So that's why I wanted to try and come back, better help out our kids, make sure that they at least have an opportunity to go there, teach them about different skills, different opportunities, such as barber colleges, such as mechanics, and different ways that our kids, because we have 46,000 students in OKCPS, we got to make sure that these kids graduate and these kids are able to make sure that they make a difference. Yeah, so that's my main thing, and I think sports is a way that we can better help out. Unfortunately, also like with sports, we also have a lot of tragedies. One of the biggest tragedies obviously happened in Los Angeles, but it came in here in more as well with the passing of Rachel Freeman just this past week. Unfortunately.
So, how crazy how many students were involved in that incident?
So, if I'm not mistaken, sports bring people together. It really does. What I always tell people is, if you ever go somewhere, just try and learn about the sport. You know, just learn one thing. That way you're able to have a communication. You better learn another culture. Because every time that I go somewhere like Spain, I just learned about one sports team around the area. We just have a conversation where I get to meet new people. But the crazy thing is, what happened in Moore is they were having a cross-country practice. There were 9 students that were running to get better for their season. We had a senior by the name of Rachel Freeman. She was ranked the 3rd best runner in the state last year, and was ranked number 1 3 years ago. Had a full ride to any college she wanted to go to. And a parent was intoxicated behind the wheel and hit 9 students, and Rachel was unfortunately the student that passed away. So it's a tragic moment here in Moore, but we're still strong here in Oklahoma because we're more and more strong.
Yeah, man. Moore has gone through a lot of shit.
Yeah,
like that tornado that hit. Mm-hmm. Then now this incident. That's crazy. And you want to know the craziest part too? I was reading about it, and I thought automatically when you like kill people, especially if you're driving under the influence. People that I've known, well, not known, but seen scenarios of that,
Right.
they do life in prison because you are driving
Especially
under
if
the
it's a
influence,
child.
plus you killed somebody.
Right.
I've seen those. But this guy, because of his color skin, gets a $1 million bond.
What time of day did that happen?
I was in the evening.
100% sure.
I mean, it wasn't like late.
It was like, I want to say around, maybe like 4,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, 46.
Around that time. So this guy gets a $1 million bond, which he only has to pay 25% of that, which still ends up being like what, 50,000?
Is it 25 or 10%? I think it's 10%.
I heard it was 25.
So yeah, he's not gonna get that shit. He's about to be in that bitch.
He's gonna be in jail for a long time. I'm gonna guarantee.
I know he's not gonna get that, but still, the fact that they gave him a bond, like, come on,
Yep. Crazy.
really? America, there you go. That's it. That's just
What I heard too is he also hit one of the children that were running was actually one of his own children. So
That's the thing, man. Some people are just sick in the head, and going back to the Oklahoma City public schools thing. Like, unfortunately, this area, like Southwest Oklahoma City, you know, all the like a lot of trouble people fucking live here. You know, a lot of people on drugs, a lot of drug dealers, a lot of. So imagine like these kids are going to school. Yeah, like it's crazy, man. Like
it creates that like dark.
it does.
That dark, you know, you grew up just on that, like, your mindset is different. You just want to just do fucking easy
right,
shit,
what a lot of people
rob
don't
people, and, like,
Yeah.
just street shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it does
it's
impact.
unfortunate because like a lot of the athletes end up like, let's say they're doing really good in football or whatever, they end up getting involved in that shit, and then it's like
That's it.
Messes up the whole thing.
Their
Yeah.
dreams
I've
and
had
futures
students-
are done.
they like Stevie. Were you familiar with Stevie Clark?
Yeah.
See, he was like.
Clark had a full ride over to Oklahoma State from Douglas, and he got messed up. He started getting involved with a lot of things he shouldn't have, and while he should have been focusing in basketball, now he's 25 years to life in jail, incarcerated. But crazy stuff happened, man. I mean, that's why I'm trying to make a comeback, trying to make sure that kids have an opportunity and get them out of this situation, because a lot of people don't realize more than 60% of our kids have some form of trauma in Oklahoma City public schools. So I mean, it's 46,000. At least 60% of those kids have some kind of trauma. That means, you know, living with one parent, and that parent probably has 2 or 3 jobs, so they're hardly ever home. That means, you know, being involved in gangs. They
Yeah,
have
and
too much
sports
free
is a great way
So-
for
Right.
escapism, keep you, you know, distracted and focus on what you want to do.
Well, and the like that respect for that, bro, because that shit. That's you're changing the world, really. you know, like that's
I see that shit.
like people, you know, that you're como what do they say, el granito de arena. That's a big one, bro, because he's in there. Basically, he dedicates his life to changing a big issue that a lot of people don't even think about, bro. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people just get drunk, they get high, they don't want to think about that shit. They're just like, I can't control.
escape from-
You know what I'm saying? I can't change it. But if we had a bunch of motherfuckers like him, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, I think it's definitely you're doing something, and it's something you like and love, and it's just keeping it's saving a kid at the end of the day. It's keeping them distracted. You know,
And
from
while I'm still here on the topic, like, thank you, Ennis Cancer. He's opened up a charter school here in Oklahoma City. So I always tell people, every time that you open up a brand new school door, that means you're basically closing down a prison. He's going to try and he's doing those great things and bring them back to Oklahoma City, where we really do need help.
Yeah.
Number 46 in the entire country in education. So it's got to get better. We got to do better things.
And I see the energy, man, on his snaps when you post with your students, and like they're winning gold medals and
Just
all that
win
good
and
jazz.
just keep on winning.
and so I mean,
Get out of trouble.
that's the thing. Whenever you go to school, basically the teachers become your parents. You know, your mentors. So you gotta have people that are good to be mentoring these people, because that's what happens. A lot of times the teachers are getting underpaid, so that when they go into work, they're looking at it as a job, not necessarily as a, you know. And there's a lot of teachers that are doing great. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, if we're 46, you said 46.
46th in the nation.
That means that there's probably a lot of teachers not really giving a fuck, bro. You know, they're just.
You know, it does upset me. Like, because we're so low, a lot of great teachers don't work for us. They don't. I mean, we get a lot of teachers that have zero experience in education.
Yep, and that's the crazy thing. Like, they have zero experience, and then they go and throw them in the jungle. Like, that teacher was new that I'm telling you about. and he's a brand new teacher. He doesn't, and then he comes his third day, and they do him like that. Like, he's like, what the fuck? Like, have you seen that movie Freedom Riders?
Yeah.
Freedom Riders. Same exact fucking story right there is going on right now in every public school. It's nuts, bro.
It's bad, man. It's bad.
It's bad. It's hard working in the district, but I love it every single day. You know, it's what I tell people is you got to find the place that's best for you. You know, God's got a path. God has a path for you, and this is the path that He chose for me. And I love going to work every single day. It's not a job for me. It's helping out kids, and that's what I love to do. Like I went to I interviewed at a Christian school. I really did, and you know they were so great. The kids, they were well behaved, no problem. But I was so bored. There were no problems. There was no action. There was no fun. And then you work here in the city. They teach you things.
That's crazy.
You're doing the whoa. You're doing absolutely everything you want to do. It's fun every day for me. But that's just me.
Yeah.
And these kids have to have people that they can relate to. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that they can see, and they're like they can see themselves in that person. You know, because that was a problem with like that teacher. He was a white dude. He was older. He was like he would try to be funny, but he was just corny. So it was just like. They hated his ass, bro. You know what I'm saying? They were just like, wait, why? I'm not going to listen to this motherfucker. But if it was a dude, let's say you were a teacher, you know what I'm saying? They look at you and they can relate more. They can, so that's.
I think, being a teacher is just not only.
Kind of just motivated me to be a fucking teacher, bro.
Yeah, I think it's just not like just teaching.
Kid.
I think you got to understand your students too.
Yeah.
Like, take the time.
Yeah, that's why I always tell people. You got to build relationships first.
Exactly. That way, when it's your turn to teach them, they go into your class, they're excited. Like, oh shit, what Professor Oscar's doing today? You know, like what is he gonna teach us? And shit
Instead
like
of being like, fuck, I gotta go to.
I had like 2 teachers that were like that, man. So like, it was the art class, which that was already fun, but he came in with a crazy energy, so it's like that like motivated me. And then it was my math teacher too. He came in with an excellent like energy. So that kind of, motivated me to count, to learn, the math. And I was like, shit, I got to learn how to count my money right and shit since I'm going to be making it, you know what I'm saying? So like, I was motivated.
Yeah, and if you respect your teacher, you're going to learn, you're going to learn. Like
you're there, you know what I'm saying? So
exactly. But like I said, we're making big strides here in Oklahoma City Public Schools. Last year, in the entire district, we won 0 championships, state championships. That's what we get based on. This year, my school, like you've already said, we're putting up medals and stuff. First school, it's already has 3 championships in the entire district, the entire state. ACAC champs in girls, ACAC champs, runners-up in cross country, boys and girls. So we're making strides on the east side, things that in sports that we've never even done before. Cross country. You think that a lot of kids on the east side of Oklahoma City want to do cross-country, even know what long-distance running is? This is new for us, so we're doing a lot of great strides. But even at the high school level, one thing that I'm really proud of is Star Spencer High School's got a chance to win this gold ball this year. Class in SAS, girls and boys.
What is this sport?
Basketball this year.
You said gold ball?
Gold ball.
What is that?
So in championship basketball, there's only two balls. If you make it all the way, you have a chance for the gold ball. That's first place.
Oh, okay. It's like a trophy.
Here's the trophy.
Okay.
Silver ball, second place. Even if you went to like semifinals, there's no third place game. We only crown the champs. So there's only 2. So Star Spencer's got a chance. Class in SAS girls and boys have a chance. And I think Northwest Class has a chance. So we're making strides that have never been seen from a school district that had 1-0. Now we got a chance to win a lot of stuff this year. And I mean, these are just differences, not just myself. Like, I can't just take all the credit. I work with 19 other athletic directors in the entire district that we're making great strides. We're making a lot of different things to make possibilities for our kids. And I think that we're doing a lot better this year, and we just keep on moving, advancing, progressing for years to come.
Nice.
So you go school to school, or you guys stay at the where do you office out of?
Me, because I said I'm on the middle school level, I work for Douglas High School. I work for their middle school division. I work for Moon Middle School, and I work for every single elementary school beneath it. That's Thelma Parks, Edwards, Martin Luther King, and a few others.
So for elementary nowadays, what is it looking like? Because back then, I think the only thing you could do was track. That was the only thing.
So a lot of people, we're making a lot of great strides now. This is why I'm saying this. 5th and 6th graders are finally able to compete in athletics. First time ever. We made a whole league for them. called the Police Athletic League, called PAL.
PAL, yeah.
Yeah, we've had it for a few years. So now we're making better strides.
I played PAL.
Exactly. Some people have played PAL, but now every school's got it that are 5th and 6th graders, not just a few selected schools. So now,
Well, it used to be that you had to go separately, like it wasn't even a school thing. So now it's incorporated into. Oh, that's tight.
it's completely just right there. So now kids learn the foundational belief system of making good grades. That means I get to play, doing foundational things of how to actually play basketball. So instead of getting them to 7th and 8th grade, you get them at a younger age. And now the big news is we're working with the YMCA and YWCA to get our kids in the 3rd and 4th grade so they even start learning about better grades at a younger age. Because if we can start them even younger, man, those are going to be great strides that we can make here in the district, we can make here for the entire state of Oklahoma just to keep on growing. So we're hopefully going to be able to get even more people in athletics, more people graduating, more people doing better things for the entire state, which is great things for our entire community. So that's what I'm excited to see. Really,
That's crazy. Yeah, put it in for the city. Hell yeah. So if I wanted to be an athletic director, what do I have to do?
Right. So to be an athletic director here in Oklahoma City Public Schools is, number one, is you obviously have to be an educator. So that means you have to have your teaching degree, you have to have your bachelor's degrees, you have to be a teacher, and you just have to want to be with kids all the time. That means you have to be supportive with our children. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not easy every day.
Right.
Because some people, I mean, they've been phenomenal coaches here in Edmond, Moore, or the surrounding area. They're just not used to the kids yet. That's why I said build better relationships. So if you want to be an AD, number one is support your kids. Number two is support your coaches and support your teachers. If you can do those 3 things, you can be an AD tomorrow.
And have a bachelor's.
You have to have the minimum
you have to
bachelor's
have.
degree and obviously have a teaching certificate. But, I mean, a lot of people that I know could easily be a great athletic director and could better help out our kids because sometimes I see them. Now, I said we have 19 of them. All 19 aren't that great.
I could. If I were to go through that path, I could do basketball. I love
Right. You can do basketball.
Yeah.
But like you said before, is you see me posting pictures of all our kids. I don't just say, shoot, it's just basketball all the way. No, I choose every single sport. The cheer team is on there, basketball, cross country, track, football, every single sport I support. Softball, every single one. So that's why I say you got to support every single one of the kids.
And you're basically like the, so like when you go, there's a coach for baseball, soccer, track. You basically go and ask them like what they need what.
Yeah, so like what I mean by supporting them is literally trying to figure out what we need for our kids. If that means better equipment, that means we're trying to build better relationships, like I said.
And when it comes to equipment, who funds that?
Great people fund that. Phenomenal people fund it.
Like who?
I just hope Roosevelt has new uniforms.
These are great people that we get to work with. Oklahoma Cleats for Kids. They make sure that every single child, no matter if they can't afford it, has brand new cleats, has brand new shoes. So you look at our basketball team, they're wearing brand new Jordans, brand new Nikes, shoes that cost $100-some. You just give it to them, it lights up their face because they've never.
Yeah, bro. That's why. I mean, it lit up my face. I was over here like, shit, slide.
Man, I can make a comeback. I was excited just to see them. Cross country, they got it for them. Every single sport you can think of. It's phenomenal. Fields and Future, and this is what people said. People went to Webster, Jefferson, Roosevelt. They've never had a field. You go to every single one of those schools now. They have an entire football field that's built. They do. I've seen that. Yeah, they've seen them here on the south side. Brand new football field that you can and we also got brand new goals of soccer.
Back then it was crazy. Now that memories are coming, it's they had old beat up tires and shit out there that they used.
Exactly. I think you have to invest because I think now they're looking at their surroundings like, damn, these kids like that went by your time. They're like, fuck, like they didn't have none of that nice shit, so that it didn't motivate them that much. Like when you have, Right. So that's where like they start, you know, they probably didn't have a good coach, a good mentor. So like, all
Hey,
that
shout out
shit.
to Coach Shell though for Roosevelt. He was a fucking he coached me a couple times, and yeah, he's
It's the involvement, bro. If you have you know, new equipment, new football field, new uniforms, the
exciting.
coach is engaged. That's gonna be, and
it really changes somebody's life, man. It's crazy.
Big part of you growing up. Like if you like, I've seen people that say thanks. I think it was DeRozan was one. I think somebody had. I think it was Derrick Rose. He had a brother that was he was in the streets, and he made sure he kept him in the basketball sport.
Right.
And he's like, thanks to basketball, I didn't, you know, follow my brother's steps because he also made sure I was there.
I have a kid. He posted me, and I got an award. And I mean, I was emotional when I got this award. I'm now in the Del City Hall of Fame because the kid told me he was suicidal. I didn't know this. You know, he had depression, and I forced him to do wrestling, a sport that he obviously didn't think much about. You wear a little singlet, so you feel you don't have a lot of confidence in yourself, and you start doing this. He wrote a letter to one of the House representatives, Andy Fugate, and he gave me this letter, and now it's in the Hall of Fame, and it said, "Thank you for saving my life." He wrote an entire article. It was in the news, and he said, "Thank you for saving my life. Because if not for you, I wouldn't have the opportunity to graduate from high school. I wouldn't have the opportunity to be in the military now." Things I wouldn't have known about. I was just doing my job. I was trying just to help children out, make sure that they're there. So now it's an entire day because he wrote like a whole thing about it. So now it's an entire day, suicide prevention in Del City High School. And it's called the Oscar Loza Hoyos Suicide Prevention Day in Del City every year now. And I didn't even know about it. They did it for 1 year already. They presented me with the award, I think, 2 weeks ago. And I cried when I saw the whole video. So, I mean, these are things like when you guys say, like, coaches change lives. They change lives every single day without even realizing it. So, I mean, we're trying to make a lot of big strides and a lot of big differences for our kids and our communities, especially here.
Much needed. But all that has to do, and
and when you guys said about jerseys, we have a new partnership, too. Every 3 years, we get brand new jerseys. Nike jerseys.
Nike.
Oscar's out here fucking.
He's on his shit, bro. I'm telling you.
Today,
Don't sleep
baby.
on
We're trying to
Oscar,
help out
bro.
the
Don't
kids.
sleep on him, bro. I never sleep on this guy. He knows what he's doing. And yeah, he's always doing good shit, man. He's always doing good shit, man. That's why I had a good feeling about him when I met him. He's like,
My bad. Quick question. If somebody wanted to donate to school for, you know, uniforms or somebody that's not even involved with the public school, doesn't even have a degree, but they have some money and they just want to donate, how do they go about doing that?
There's a few ways you can donate. So a lot of people just don't have money, so they can always donate their time. Like I said, the PAL League, we always need coaches in the PAL League. You can always apply. There's an app on your phone, Police Athletic League OKC, PAL OKC. You can always try and be a coach. I mean, some people just do it. And that way they can determine, it's like, well, I love doing this. Maybe I can do it at the high school, at the middle school level, you know, just some experience. That is always a phenomenal thing. If you want to donate some money, like I said, Oklahoma Cleats for Kids always gets us cleats. It doesn't matter where you are. It's not just here in Oklahoma City Public Schools that they give that to. That includes every school that can't afford it. That means Tulsa. We've had schools from Lawton go over there. Every single school that needs some help, we'll gladly try and help them out. And Fields for Future, they're trying to build brand new stadiums, build brand new things. So those are two great organizations. Or if you just want to try and donate to your school, just tell them it's going to go to athletics or possibly some of the other programs. Because, like I said, it's not just athletics that I worry about. I try and do a lot of great things. We have a lot of different partnerships, especially, and this is one of the big things that I really want to help out more, are the young girls that we have in athletics. Obviously, a lot of people want to focus their time on the boys, but obviously the girls are just as important. They're going to be future leaders because we never know who's in our classrooms. They could be the next president of the United States, or they could be an engineer or something.
The next Serena Williams, the next.
Exactly.
You know? So it's like you never know.
Like I tell people, I mean, I believe in my kids every single day because somebody believed in me. I mean, you never know who they're going to be. When kids tell me, I want to do this, tell them, I believe that you can do this. I've learned that from
it's
Coach
mindset.
Jim
That's all it is.
Yeah.
If you teach them mindset, you can get as far as you think
Exactly.
you can.
Shit, on the last podcast when we had Leo, he said, I asked him if he wanted to design his own clothes. He he kind of went back and forth. I believe in you, bro. You fucking go design your own clothes.
Oh shit! It was like,
Sometimes
that shit was interesting too, because it's like, yeah, just because he got overwhelmed because there's so many like clothing brands and this and that, but like, bro, there's never enough, bro. There's like what 6 billion people? What is it like?
7 billion
population?
people in the world.
Yeah,
but,
come on, son.
don't
like,
get me wrong, the clothing business is the
there's
toughest
plenty for everybody.
business in the world. But if you got the desire, you got the strength, and you got the everything to do it, I can guarantee you're gonna make it. I mean, let's look at FUBU. FUBU was nothing. Now, for us, by us, is one of the biggest clothing markets in the entire world. You just have to be ahead of the curve. That means don't make a shop. Don't be like a J.C. Penney. You got to try and start local and try spreading out your business.
Yeah, I think sports is a big thing, and just mindset.
See, that would be cool too, to get the public schools to maybe have like a creative department. That would be fun, man. Like going in there.
When you say creative, what do you mean?
Like if there's, because I know there's a lot of kids that want to do music, they want to do videos, they want to do.
Right.
But like when I was in school, you couldn't even. I mean, if you.
Because it wasn't an opportunity.
Yeah, there was no opportunity. So if you had like a, let's say after school, instead of going to football practice, or you go to film, that would
It's
be
crazy.
fucking.
And now that you say the creative side, it's crazy because like there was I don't remember who was it, but Casey Neistat, he's a YouTuber vlogger. So he said when he went to a classroom and they asked him like what he asked the kids what they want to be when they grow up, and he said probably like 90% of the kids said like YouTuber.
Yeah.
So,
See, when I was in high school back then, I went to a journalism camp, and they asked us like what we wanted to do when we grew up, and that's what I put on my thing. Like I wanted to be a YouTuber, and I was like in 10th grade.
You see that?
Yeah. Like on the newspaper, on my little thing, you can still see it. Like we had like a profile of every person in the thing, and it said, and like I wanted to be a YouTuber, but I was in like 10th grade, so back then the closest thing I could do was that journalism camp, which was like, but it wasn't it was just like journalism, so it was just one camera, like real dry news type shit. But
no, but look at us now. Look where you are. Shoot,
yeah, you gotta look at it that way, bro. I think
somebody believed in it. You believed in yourself, and we're making strides.
I actually had my English teacher, Miss Classic, hit me up like 3 weeks ago, and she said she wanted me to go talk to one of her students because he was confused and like lost, didn't know what to do, and she said that he reminded her a lot of me when I was back in high school. So she was like, I'm going to need you to, come talk to him and stuff. So
and
really should, man.
did you ended up doing it?
I gave her my phone number, and I just told her to let me know when she wants. I need to get back on that.
You should, because believe it or not, bro, that shit feels good, man. Making a difference in any way you can. Maybe talking to the kid, that feels good, bro. Like it feels like you.
And it's crazy too, man, because a lot of times, like when in school, when you have those people that come and give a speech and stuff, there's a lot of times where the kids, they're just glad that they get out of class. They don't even give a fuck about what the people are talking about. But if you can impact like 4 or 5 of those kids that actually are listening and stuff, one, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like,
well, that's always why I get mad. Sometimes some people go like, let's bring back an alumni. I never like bringing back alumni sometimes because they only talk about their day and themselves when they were in high school. Shoot, that was 20, 30 years ago. Your time is different than the kids that we have.
And see, that's one of the reasons why I felt a little weird when she asked me to go talk to him, because I'm like I don't really feel like I'm at a place where
you can give people advice.
Well, and then I don't want to give the kid the wrong advice, and then he goes and fucking like does something, and he's like, "Damn, the AV told me this, and now I'm a fucking rock star."
You just need to know what advice to give. Like for example, you can't give advice of money when you're broke. So I think but that kid is not asking maybe for that advice. If I were to give somebody advice, it would be on motivation and like on pursuing your dreams, because like right now, like,
and see, now I'm at a good place because I graduated barber school. We got this going,
Right. So
I can tell him something.
You can tell him something like the times you were where you wanted to quit, but you haven't quit, and then it's paying off because right now you're gonna.
The time in high school, it was funny because I was valedictorian in my class, but I didn't apply for any colleges. I just went to I was like, I'm just gonna go to barber school. Right. So everybody that when you go up, they tell them like, my school, at least, it was really academic. So it was like, he's going to OU, she's going to UCO, she got a scholarship here. Mine, it was like, I was valedictorian, and it said JB's Barber College.
Look, bro, you followed your dream, man. You took a chance. You know
Right,
how many,
and then that's
you know how many people don't take a chance?
and
Yeah.
I think optimism, like I could give people advice of that, like you know what I'm saying? Like we're in episode 10 right now, but in a year we're gonna be in episode fucking 30, 40, and who knows, 100, you know? And then it's just like,
Yeah.
I always like, I'm not afraid to switch things up. That's another thing. Like if I like something and it's new, I'm gonna try it and I'm gonna go for it. I'm not afraid to switch it up. So I think I can tell people, like, you know, I didn't have the best things growing up. I didn't have the best childhood, but I'm here. You know, I'm here. I'm motivated. I'm looking for the next step. I'm looking for the next thing, and I'm looking to just grow. So that's, I think, the advice I can give people. And I have impacted one of my friends. You know, shout out to Patrick. I impacted him because he, on some real shit, he talked to me the other day. He told me, like, bro, like, I'm not worried about going out anymore. I'm not worried about drinking. I'm not worried.
So you've impacted me from the few months you've met me. I was like fucking drinking a lot, and now I still do, but it's like there's certain days where we're here, like we're working, we're like on Saturday, instead of fucking going out, we were here podcasting, you know. So
and that kind of gave you like, all right, I'm not gonna do this shit. I'm not gonna go out. I'm gonna focus on the podcast, and like that's tight, bro. And when he told me that shit, bro, for me to take a single person that's just young as shit, because that nigga's just about to be 22, and be like, he was like, bro, I'm working on my personal training. I got all A's at school. I'm focusing on getting my bread up, like with my dad, and learning more shit. So he told me that shit. He was like, oh, I gotta shout you out, bro. Like, you really helped me out. Like, it's crazy. I didn't think I would be saying this shit. I was like, damn. Like, to me, it was, you know, to me, it was
humbling.
Humbling. Like, fuck. Like that's just in any way you can. Like, you can just impact the people that surround you. I think that's amazing. You know.
At what point did you decide that you were gonna do this, like working with kids and actually making an impact?
Right. So
because you could have easily took your talent, went and made money, and
because I know you wanted to do a couple of other things.
I had a lot of different interests, and I really did. And I'll say this: when I was in college, my old high school coach, he moved from Southeast High School. He moved over to Del City Public Schools, Mid-Del Public Schools. And he just saw me one day, right? And he just said, hey, I could use some help here in wrestling. I was in college. I was playing sports, and I was just I don't have all the time. After my season's over, I'll try and help you out. And he understood, and he said, all right. See, my season ends. I go straight over to him, and I start helping out the kids. Now, 2 years later pass. I graduate from college. I get my first real job. I become a store manager. I become a store manager at Sprint.
Shout out to Sprint.
Shout out to
Shit,
Sprint.
that was tight.
No.
That's where I learned how to sell, like, took it,
That's
you
how
know,
you
to the
start
next
selling.
level. Oscar, you know, put me under his wing, like, hey, I'm gonna teach you this, that. Hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah.
Because
bro, that's crazy how that shit works. We all met at Gold's.
Exactly. So yeah, I met AV at Gold's, and then the funny story is I went there to get a membership. AV was the one that gave me like the tour around the gym, and then I told him, like, bro, are they hiring?
After I gave him like a fucking 30-minute tour, bro. I'm like, you should have just told me.
He asked about my goals, about what I want to do, like where I want to be.
I was doing my job, man.
He was doing his job, and I'm over here like, yeah, I want to do this, I want to do that. And then at the end of the conversation, I was like, are you guys hiring? And then AV's like, I'll be right back. And he went and got the manager, and like I talked to her, and then it was raps. So in that process, I met Oscar because Oscar would come in, like, he was a friendly guy, so he would say what's up, and somehow I guess the name tag, he would memorize my name, so he'd be like, what's up, Darwin? I'm like, oh, cool, you know. Shit, I probably the only one that would say it. Yeah, the only one. Everybody just comes, scan, say what's up, bro, or whatever.
Remember this fool used to always come get a pre-workout and some cookies. And
I still eat the cookies. You can see by my body
cookies were good.
I never say no to the cookies, man.
They were high in protein, bro. Like,
man, high in protein.
Oh God.
I wish I didn't gain the weight from them, but man, they were good.
Shit.
They still good,
bro. Shout out to Carrie, but I used to get one. I used to pay for one, and then I would eat the other one.
Okay, so
so yeah, I met Oscar by that, and then I saw him with a Sprint shirt. That's why I asked, like, oh, you work at Sprint? And then he was like, yeah. So I was like, man, give me a job there because I'm trying to make more money. Because I already had, like, my time was already due at Goals. I wasn't making money, and then I wasn't going to do the personal training thing. So, yeah, he, hooked me up and taught me took the sales into, like, another scale. And I was actually good. I was probably top performer there as soon as I got there. So that's when I knew I was, like, on some different shit because not only did I learn the shit, like, at Goals, I was watching you guys sell, watching Carrie, and then also watching the personal training thing. I learned a lot of shit, but then like Oscar just took that to the next level, and that kind of sparked. And I was, as soon as I got there, I knocked down the number one person. That was Aaron. Shout out to Aaron from he's in Houston right now. He was the top dog, and I knocked him out. I was like, I'm coming for that. I'm coming for that time. I told him too, and I told him like, hey, bro, I'm cool with you and shit, but I'm coming for your spot, you know. And that's exactly what I did. But
trust me, being the manager there, I loved it. I made so much money with you too. Shit. I really did. I was like, yeah,
Oscar was
you
number
keep going
one. All like hit the store.
Plug, you're in the.
Oh, I mean, I'm gonna tell you this. That job was one of the best jobs, just because once again, it all has to do with leadership. Oscar wasn't a boss. Oscar was a leader. Oscar was there to help us out, help us close. Was involved with the customer. Would bring us lunch all the time. I was gaining weight, man. Shout out to Oscar for the Jersey mics and shit. He had all the plugs, bro. He had all the plugs. That shit was awesome.
Build relationships. That's what I tell people.
He would come and then bring, because the next door was a Jersey Mike, so he would come up with 2 subs, footlongs. I'm talking footlongs. All right, Oscar, you didn't have to pay for that. I didn't pay for it. Well, shit. Okay, you know. So, yeah, I learned that.
Take a little piece from my girl.
Yeah, those were the days. And it goes back to, like, that was one of the best jobs because of the energy. Like, I was excited to go to work every day. The team, Oscar was the leader. So he taught me that. And it just, after that, when I knew my potential and I knew I reached my peak, that's when I moved to the next thing, which was AT&T. Exactly. And the commission structure was bigger. Everything was bigger. And Oscar helped me out with that. He was cool with it. He was like, on to the next. And back when you was in Sprint, what was your goals back then as far as like career? Because I remember you were like,
well, every single place that I've ever been to, I've always just never wanted to stay where I'm at, no matter what. So I graduated with a degree in communication. So I thought Sprint, telecommunication, it's in the name.
I remember. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, I remember that. So I thought that's where I was going to be in. You know, I have a minor in business, going to be better helping out people. And, you know, after a while, you just start doing it. It just becomes monotonous. And I wasn't in love with it. I really wasn't. I leave that job. I become a college professor because I finished my master's degree. And I'm starting to teach again. First time ever.
Did you take a pay cut?
Huh?
A huge one, huh?
I went from 6 figures down to like no figures, if that helps you out. And I started thinking about it. And I was like, man, I have a lot of fun here, teaching, but it's just not all the fun I can be. And I started thinking about it. I was like, what was the most fun that I did? But I remember.
So when you say teaching, you was a teacher, right?
So I was a college professor teaching.
How was that experience? Like, because I remember you would tell me, hey, I got this job at this college and I'm a teacher.
Right. So I was teaching at Rose State College full time. And
so how was
what
that?
Were you teaching?
I was teaching American government, political science, social studies, history and all that stuff. Main thing. So I loved doing it. I really did. But the same thing is like I hit a ceiling. They only kept giving me that one class. So I was like, man, it was like I keep teaching the same class. It was getting boring.
History? You say you were?
Yeah, I was teaching American government. So I mean, like, don't get me wrong, politics always keeps changing, but it's still the same.
It's not that like high.
And it's tough because you basically have those people that are in that class probably don't even give a fuck. They're just like they're because they have to take that class, and then you have to teach the same
time.
Well, yeah, it is. So that's probably why he got tired.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like.
Yeah, exactly. And then I got an opportunity. Oklahoma City Public Schools called me up and they said, hey, would you like to possibly be a teacher here? And, I'm thinking, well, geez,
What is this? Is this high school or middle school?
High school. I was at a high school. First job. And I said.
To teach what?
To teach history. Because I'm certified in history. Like I have my master's is in political.
I mean, don't get me wrong. History is good because history repeats.
But history teaches you the wrong thing.
But history repeats itself too.
Yeah, no.
It's always good to learn, but I think because this is something I don't know who the hell I was talking about. But history is like really weird. For example, like do we have a Columbus Day?
Yeah.
Right. Why?
Because Christopher Columbus came.
Right.
He never
so
made it to
Christopher Columbus came and discovered America. But my thing is, how is America discovered when there was already people? Like
Yeah.
how? That doesn't make sense.
You want me to tell you something about history?
You know, when you discover something,
He was about to say something.
I was saying
something
something
about
too, but
history?
yeah, go ahead.
It's crazy. You know, a lot of people always think history the way you think about it, the way that it's misconstrued, the way that it's done, this and that and the other thing, the way that you just look at it in a book and it's over. You know what history is? It's gossip. That's all history is just gossip. What did this person do? Oh, this person did this and that. Shoot, now we're just talking about George Washington's business. You have any idea how you connect that with kids? You know how much fun it is connecting history with kids in a way that they've never seen it before?
You have that ability, though.
No. This is
You
why.
might have that ability.
This is why. You don't like history because you didn't have a teacher that cared about history the way that a lot of people do.
Maybe if
like if you
just-
would've had me,
it
you know
depends
what
on
I'm
how.
saying?
But here's the thing, though. Like it goes back to like misconceptions and like misinformation. So
Why do you think it's a waste of time?
because
in
of
the
the
past,
misinformation. Right. So, and I go back to this. So they say we have a Christopher Columbus Day, right? Why? Because he discovered America, but he didn't discover it because there were already Indians and you know, and people here.
Right.
So not only did he discovered it, he also took them for slavery, raped a lot of people, and yeah. So like, he raped a lot of people and he took all of the gold out of all these islands, Puerto Rico, Cuba.
There wasn't
He took
gold
it.
in
So
those
if
islands.
say what?
There wasn't gold in those islands.
It was what?
There was no gold in those islands.
Yes, there was. No. I know my story, bro. No, Puerto Rico.
Where'd you learn that from? Puerto Rico
Yeah,
schools?
no. I know a little bit of my history.
Put it up,
I
Amy.
know, I know Puerto
Okay,
Rico.
Karen.
Puerto Rico gets its name because of how rich they were in gold. That's where, yeah. And you know Spanish. We all know Spanish. Puerto Rico.
Puerto means port. It's a
And
rich port because it was like
rich port.
a stopping ground. The reason it's called Puerto Rico is because it's rich, because you could stop in Puerto Rico and you could transport everything. Look at your face right now.
No, it
Look
doesn't.
at your
It
face
does
right
not.
now.
It does
Look at-
not.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
Anyway, my bottom
That's why I
line
can't
is
talk history because I don't know shit.
I know at least my history. So that's where that name came.
Maybe you should
comes
learn
from.
that.
On the next podcast, if we prove him wrong, he's gonna have to fucking.
Oh yeah, you prove me. If somebody in the comment section or is a history geek, hey, prove me wrong. But I know my shit.
Okay.
So bottom line is, we have we got this special day for this guy Christopher Columbus, and this guy discovered America. Like why? Like I just don't get why. I feel like if people, like at least in high school or in elementary school or whatever, they say like, oh, and, he discovered America. He's all this great person from Spain or whatever. And then when you get older and you do your research, you're like, oh, this guy was actually a douchebag. Like,
Yeah.
he's not this guy, So I think, like you said,
Why did you want to study history, or why'd you want to teach it?
Why do I want to teach it?
Other you said like it's like gossip or whatever, but what was your?
The real reason is, the real reason I became a history teacher is I loved history. I don't know why. I can't explain it to you, but I loved reading about it. I love the stories, but I've had great people that would always teach me about those subject matters. That's why I loved it. So the way I explain to somebody is the way I was taught. And I make it a way that you can understand in your time period now. That's how I used to teach history back in the day. But now I just don't teach classes at all. And it's kind of funny because I miss doing it. That's one reason I became a teacher. And but the reason then I started like doing more athletic stuff, started helping kids out in other avenues. So that's why it just changed up everything that I've done. So that's why I'm a big proponent to better help out kids in a lot of different areas.
You know what we may have to do? Every month or every 2 months, pick some political issues that are going on right now and talk about them. Because I hate that shit. I hate watching it on the news. So maybe this will be a good way to do it.
well, I think it's always good, and this is why I want to evolve with the podcast. I feel like if every guest we bring, we get to know about them, but also keep up with the trends and topics and shit, will stay even more relevant because it's also good. I like knowing people's background. I like knowing what they did, what got them motivated and stuff like that. But
And see, because I don't give a fuck about history, but the way you put it as like, okay, that's like me liking cameras
if you go more than just asking them what they do and what they did, like some people might look at the podcast and be like, I don't give a fuck. Exactly. But if we talk about a topic that they may like your history shit, like you probably was like, nah. But then like he said something and it triggered like, oh shit, wait, let me see what.
Oh, I mean, like how you remember? Do you remember like he said something about the 10th grade, how he believed in himself?
Right.
Shoot, like it's just a transitional thing.
Exactly.
Like, before you can start moving forward, you got to look at where you've been.
Right. That's exactly. I think it's just that. That's why I always say like when we get to the point where we're
history basically.
Right. Yeah. So when we're with the guests and we already ask them all the questions, and at that point it's freestyle. Like, what do you know? What do you keep up with? I know Oscar keeps up a lot of the school community. That's why I think it was the right time to put him in the podcast to talk about what he does, his career in the public school system, and what he wants, what he has planned for the future. So what do you have planned for the future, Oscar?
Oh, wait, we didn't finish. After history at Rose State, what?
Oh, yeah, we would, damn. See, we get a little sidetracked. So.
No.
You don't listen to your own show?
That's why I got you, dog.
That's why we got a good content. We got a good person right there.
Your headphones on too tight.
Thanks, Molly. I love you too.
So he's roasting me today. Shit.
So the main thing that I started doing was right when I became a teacher over at Centennial, I thought I was just going to do teaching history class there during the day, and then I would just go back and teach at the college. Like right after school, because I get out at school right at 2:30. I have the whole afternoon off, and I started talking to a lot of the kids. And Centennial High School was a school that never won in sports. They were really good in basketball. They got 2 championships in basketball. So that's the only sport they were good in. They were good at no other things. I started talking to them, and I started realizing, man, we have a lot of potential to do stuff here. They just haven't had the opportunities. So I started coaching football there. I became the offensive line and defensive line coach. In that year, I had 3 children that were seniors offered a full ride scholarship to go play college football. First time ever that amount of kids got offered.
So you did this being
a teacher and a coach at the same time. And then football season ends. Then they started saying, was like, well, there's only basketball at the school. There's no wrestling. There's none of these other programs. And I said, well, let's start a wrestling program. Let's start these other programs. I said, well, we can do that next year. And I said, let's start something today. We started a powerlifting team. First time Centennial High School ever had a powerlifting team. The kid.
That is not a thing here, huh? Powerlifting?
It's not a thing in the big schools. In the small schools, like the country schools.
I think it's tight.
It's
I
amazing.
think it's cool.
It's great. Like the kids were able to go to places they've never been to before, ever.
Lift some heavy shit.
Just lift them heavy.
Yeah,
shit. But it's just an exposure thing too.
Right, and then that maybe spark doing powerlifting might spark him or she loving the gym and like that another distraction. There you go.
So, we had a kid that he never did any sports because he was so tiny, right? So no coach really wanted him. I said, well, shoot, I'll take anybody, right? I'm going to help him out. Kid's graduating first time in his family from high school. He was a kid that had 30-some referrals every year. Now he's graduating top 10% of his class. Couldn't believe it, just in powerlifting alone. The other 2 kids that I had that were just powerlifting, one of them got a full ride to Fort Hays in Kansas. The other one's got another full ride to another school in East Texas. So, I mean, those are just sports that they never even thought about. Like, they were just saying, what else can I do? Because I don't want to do basketball. I'm not good in basketball. I can't shoot a ball. Shoot, you've seen me on the court. I can't shoot a ball either. But I'm good at other things.
I know.
That's a big part of engineering your life, knowing what the fuck you're good at. And if you love something, like Gary Vee said, you don't have to be the Kobe Bryant. You could be the dude that.
Right.
You can be involved in that, because you're big in sports, but you find a way to be involved in it. Exactly. With the kids, which I think is awesome.
No, and that's how I started loving it. That's how I started doing it. And then Centennial, we finished a soccer season first time ever. They finished soccer season because it's a predominantly African American school. A lot of kids that are in the area, even on the east side, don't play soccer. I mean, I'm not trying to be culturally racist on it, but that's just predominantly they just don't play soccer. So the school that I'm at this year, Moon Middle School, it's the first time that ever on the east side they've ever had a soccer team, ever. Just because we're trying to do things, because we keep telling kids try it, right?
Yeah.
Start doing more things. So those are things that I want to do. Unfortunately, Centennial closed down that year, and then I got a great opportunity at Moon Middle School. I had opportunities to go to Edmond, Tulsa, and a lot of other places, But I thought, what school can I make the most difference? And I obviously found Moon Middle School, and it was better
That bug was bugging. My bad.
for our kids. So now they have more opportunities than anybody else. We have kids out of trouble.
Nice.
So you did the thing for Centennial, and then that's when you decided to just go full throttle athletic director?
Yeah. Well, like I said, I had a lot of opportunities in other areas because, like, apart from being like a coach, I was also a really good teacher. I had a lot of kids actually pass the state test. It's a school that went from an F rating in the state test for my class. It went to a C rating. So I mean, that's
a big jump.
That's a jump.
Yeah.
Like 2 letter grades. That's huge.
So in fucking 5 years, you might bring it up to a A. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Whoa.
He said, whoa.
God damn.
Let's stay at the C. I'm happy we're getting there.
Let's just
Maybe
not get
a
too
B.
ahead.
Let's not get too ahead here.
Fuck.
We're happy just finishing stuff. I'm happy them graduating. Like this is my goal. Just graduate.
Oh shit. So what's your plan for the future, man?
Well, the big plan is I got a few other opportunities outside of OKCPS. You know, I'm hoping to stay in the district. I really am. Because this is the district that I grew up in. You know, my mom's still part of the district. She's a teacher there. So I love OKCPS more than most other people because I have a big background there. I have a history in it. But other districts also have great kids. And I want to try and be able to help out more students. And if that means being in Tulsa Public Schools, Putnam City, I'm going to be there to better help out the other students and opportunities to help myself grow because I don't want to just stay just in one area. I don't want to just stay stagnant. That's why I left Middale because they said, like, you're only going to stay here. And I understood that. So I have to look at other opportunities where I can grow and develop my talents and be able to help out more people. So that's the main reason we have some opportunities in May after school year.
Nice. So if you had to go back in time 5 years in the past and had to talk to yourself or tell yourself something, what would it be? Any changes or anything?
Learn how to do a jump shot.
Learn how to develop a jump shot. That's it. God damn.
If you could, looking back 5 years.
Yeah, if you had to tell yourself
get away from Jersey
something
Mike's.
like, hey, don't do this, dumbass. Do this.
I've done a lot of dumb stuff.
Or do this better.
Right.
Like take a different path or whatever. What would it be?
What I would tell myself is don't get discouraged. Like literally, I didn't know what I want to do. And that gets you discouraged because you see an obstacle, you get a bump of the road and people stop telling you like, this is a stop, this is a stop, this is a stop. So don't get discouraged. Keep on going forward because there is a path for you. You may not see the bigger picture, but I can guarantee you that if you keep on going, you will get there. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. I never thought I'd be coaching or being an athletic director in Oklahoma City Public Schools. I left and I thought I was going to have different opportunities, but I came back because I love doing this. So just don't stop. Once you stop, you're going to stay there. That's what I would tell myself. Don't get discouraged. Don't stop and believe in yourself no matter what it is, because in 10 years from now, I may not be in education anymore and find something else that I can help other people in. So that's what that's what I would tell myself and other people around me.
That's fucking crazy, man. That is fucking crazy.
Good stuff.
I'm big on that shit. I support that because I'm big on that. Just chasing your dreams and going for what you want, man. So, any other questions, Oscar?
Damn, this fool's high today or something.
I know, man.
What?
Got that Big Daddy Purple. Any questions, Aaron?
I'm good. I'm good.
You want anything else you want to say, Oscar? Now's the time.
Well, I mean, we got a lot of different things now we can focus on because basketball is still really in the NBA.
This is a curious thing. My bad, Oscar. But I just thought about this right now. You know how I get crazy fucking random thoughts, but out of every job I've been, I think I build like a little, like I build a relationship with somebody, you know, like I thought about it right now. Like Gold's Gym was you. Sprint was you. AT&T was Jeffrey. Shout out to Jeffrey. T-Mobile was Roberto and Braulio. Shout out to them, my homies. When I went to Cox, it was Travis and Dante. Shout out to them.
My math teacher told me one day that out of every job, even the shittiest job he had, he didn't regret it because he's like, I don't even remember what I did at that job. but the people I met.
I think that, yeah. And I'm not going back, but I can go back. And I think in every job you just meet somebody that you fuck with hard and like you establish that relationship.
And even if you getting paid $7.25, you know, you get to meet some fucking
Like
cool
if
people.
if I never went, if I never would have applied to Gold's Gym, I didn't think I learned the shit I learned and like observe and shit. So
And you kept going, like going back to that. You when you saw that there was no more opportunity there, you were like, fuck, let's go to the, you know. But you were always on the same path of
like that goal.
Yeah.
Which is
Right.
to be better. Who's winning the chip? NBA.
NBA? Man, is that even a question anymore? Got to give it to the Los Angeles.
Okay, and now that we're in that topic, I think. Wait, who though?
Oh, you got me.
I just remember there's
Los
two teams.
Angeles.
I
I was confident on it. I hope you didn't get it. I got the Lakers.
Okay. All right. No argument there, right? So, before we wrap this up, we got the jersey. We're repping the jersey. And to this day, Kobe, tragic loss. But how did that news impact you? And
man,
could you believe it? Like,
Look,
kind of talk about that, man.
there are a few players in the entire world that transcend sports. Kobe Bryant's one of them. You think about it. You may not have a clue what the sport is, but you know who Cristiano Ronaldo is. You know who Messi is.
Yes.
You know who LeBron James is. Kobe Bryant was one of the people that not only cared about the NBA, but he made such a big impact everywhere he went to.
Did you know who those players were that Oscar mentioned?
Yeah.
And you don't fuck with the
Everybody
sports. You don't fuck with none of them.
Yeah.
That's crazy. It's crazy.
So
It's
it
true.
transcends.
It's true what you're saying.
And Kobe Bryant was one of the people that, he knew 6 languages. It was crazy, right? And
I've heard him. I only heard him speak Spanish, but it sounded.
Yeah, Italian,
Real
Spanish,
I think French too. I think
French.
bro,
whatever
yeah, it was
Luka
some
Doncic
crazy.
speaks. He knows them all, man. So like, it's crazy to me. So he was able to transcend sports by speaking with people, bringing other countries into it, making it more global than what it was.
He didn't just like show up, ball out, get his check, and say fuck it. Like he actually took the time to even.
Right. And then when he retired, he invested more time in women's athletics because he only has daughters. So women's athletics with Gigiana. He was doing bigger things with the WNBA, with college basketball. He's actually, a lot of people don't know this, he's actually one of the main reasons why the college basketball championship is on ESPN on prime time. It used to be on ESPN2. Now it's on ESPN regular because Kobe Bryant was able to help out with that situation.
And I think with that, it goes back to like Kobe did more than just basketball, and I think that's like, if we can do something more than what we know,
Or
like
just
for
yourself.
example, we do this, but if we can do more, like help the community, like
Or if we can figure out, go to the schools and talk to these kids. Like look, we have these podcasts, we have this, boom.
just be more than just a podcast or a film, and like just do more than that. Like I said, like just be involved with the community.
I hope they keep the Mamba Academy. Yeah, hopefully they keep that going, man. Because that's like, I think if any way they could keep his name alive, yeah.
Oh, he's not gonna die, bro. His name is always gonna be there. But
No, I'm saying, I know that, but I'm saying that he would love that probably. If,
yeah.
Well, you know what the crazy part is, and you know what the sad part is too about the whole thing is, he didn't have to retire from the NBA. He could have still been playing for another X amount of years, but the reason he retired was because he said he wanted to give more time to his family. He gave 20 years to a league,
Exactly.
and then only 2 or 3 years afterwards,
I get
passed
it.
away. It's
I get
the
it.
craziest thing.
I get it, man. Kobe is like he's a workaholic. That's why he wanted, like, all right, I gave 20 years of the game. I gave 20 years of myself to the game. This guy spent little time with his family because he was the first one in the gym, taking these shots, finding ways to improve, and he just wanted to be the best. He was just a workaholic. It kind of goes like he looked up to Jordan because Jordan was that workaholic, and he transitioned.
So how many years did he get with to spend with? You said 3 with his family after he retired.
Like after he retired, he was only out of the league for 3 years.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like he did everything in his power to be with his family. He said he was early in the gym so he could still spend breakfast with his family. After games, he'd still try and make sure that he saw his family for a moment. Still went back to the gym afterwards. So he devoted his time while he was playing in the league. But man, I mean, that's
It's sad.
It's heartbreaking.
Well, even the whole helicopter thing, like he did the helicopter thing to kill time to spend with his family, and it ended up being the thing that. That's just that's one of those tragedies, man. That
But he always, you know what the crazy thing is too?
that's like my bad. It's one of those tragedies where people could be mad at the world and be like, God, why? But it's like, because this dude was doing everything positive, everything right. It's fucking crazy, man.
But like I said before at the beginning, I said sports brings people together. The moment that the crash happened, you saw not only the city of Los Angeles coming together,
The world.
you saw the entire NBA coming together. You
The world.
Exactly. You saw the country. You saw the world.
Dubai, bro, had the purple and yellow lighted, like the
purple and
their
gold coming up.
tallest building. Yeah, it was crazy, man. Like, to me,
That's how I say it. He transcended sports more than a lot of people realize. So his memory is going to live on. I still have kids, you know, like I see them all the way in try and just throw something in the trash. They just yell out, Kobe.
you can't. Like,
and
that's
it's-
just a must. Like, so with that, it kind of made me realize, bro, like, the day I die, I want to be remembered in any way I can.
Yeah.
You know, when it comes to community, because just Kobe impacted me, and like I mentioned, I was not a fan of him. You
Right.
know, I admired his game. He was a
Right.
top dog. And the reason why I hated Kobe in that time,
Because
it
he's
was
so
like,
good.
he was schooling LeBron when he was in the Cavs. Like, bro, this is my LeBron, bro. This is my guy. You know, like, he was just schooling them. But he had all the reasons, because this guy was the badass. Like, this guy was the top dog. So, you know, him passing away made me realize, is like, damn, I want to be remembered. You know, I want to be remembered in any way I can. And Kobe taught me that, you know, a lot of shit, like Mamba mentality. Like, you got to be there. You got to be the first one there. You got to put.
And it's one of those corny things, cliche or whatever, but like his legacy's he did what he had to do to leave a good legacy. Like, you can go on YouTube right now and get some motivation from Kobe Bryant. You know, that's something that he's dead right now. He's still motivating people.
So, and then this goes to what I like to use as motivation as well. And like, so you have Mayweather, right? Which is a big guy, one of the best boxers, right? Millionaire.
It's the best boxer.
The best boxer, right? And you have LeBron James, which he is the best NBA player right now, right? If those two go broke and lost everything, who are people going to follow?
LeBron.
James.
Why?
I think a lot of people. I mean, I don't get me wrong. I don't want to take anything away from Mayweather. I think a lot of people are still gonna like Mayweather.
But why did you say LeBron first?
He's just more positive. He's not that cocky.
Exactly.
But like I said, I don't want to take anything away from Mayweather, because Mayweather is a badass.
Exactly. That's the perfect example I like to use. I give all the credit of the world to Mayweather because he's the best boxer. But outside of boxing, all I see is he's doing it. Like, he's doing nothing against that. That's him. He chooses that path. But at the end of the day, I think is like everybody's gonna choose LeBron because of what he does outside of basketball. He's a role model. He doesn't take any hate. LeBron receives a lot of hate. He ignores it. Like, it's ridiculous the way, because look, you get 100 positive comments and you get that negative comment. Celebrities, everybody, they get triggered. They start.
Shout out to KD.
LeBron,
That nigga KD be getting triggered.
yeah, he's soft, but at the end of the day, bro, you the name. You're the big name. Your people want, you know, like, don't pay attention to that. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you know, I think it's because just what LeBron is able to do outside of the court. He built a school. You know, he got all these charities going on. So it's like, at the end of the day, that's how I want to be seen. Like, if I get to that point where I'm successful and I have money, whatever, and I lose everything, I want people to fuck with me heavily. It's like what Gary Vee.
Yeah, and don't forget about the Akron Foundation, Akron Toledo Foundation. If you graduate from the city of Akron, you get to go to the University of Akron for free because of the LeBron Foundation. Full ride scholarship. Doesn't matter if you were first in your class. Doesn't matter if you were 2,900th.
Exactly. So I think that's what I'm trying to go for. That's what I'm trying to leave. At least if it's not that big, at least the people that are surrounded by me that, you know, fuck with me heavily be like, damn, I like this nigga Darwin really.
What is it called when you die, or obituary? Yeah. I forgot who said if you think you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, write your own obituary or whatever the thing it is. Basically, that's the speech they give when you die. So so like when you like to find out what legacy you want to leave, write your own.
Write your own.
That
See
way
what you've done.
Yeah.
See how you can better it. Because, you know, you see a lot of people that make a lot of money, but they haven't done nothing with it.
Exactly.
Shoot.
Yeah, exactly. And then when you have that following, you have a lot of people that look up to you that are watching you. I think LeBron, as much haters as he has, he also inspires a lot of people too. Just like the Kobe
Yeah,
thing,
exactly.
you know.
Like-
Kobe had a lot of haters when he was in his prime,
Yeah.
man, because of how killer he was.
Right.
So it's like,
No, right, and no, exactly, and like like you leave legacy, and I have a lot of friends that are lawyers, and they're not happy at all. They just go to work, they get all this money, and then they go home and they just drink.
Do some cocaine.
Well, I don't want to say cocaine, but at least they drink. And they hang out with me. And they're like, Oscar, I don't get it. How are you so happy? I was like, how are you so positive all the time? I was like, I make at least twice as much money as you, at least. I was like, how in the world can you live that lifestyle? I was like, because I love what I do every single day.
priorities and standards,
Yeah.
maybe. Like, he got his shit.
Because I'm not having to lie for a motherfucker on the stand, bro.
Yeah, no, it's an
I think,
odd
yeah.
feeling.
It's like a soul thing, I think. Like, do you a lot of times people? That's when they say like you sold your soul or whatever. It's like when you're doing something that doesn't fill you just for the money, then
Right. You chasing the bag. And you're,
I mean, prime example. You went from making 6 figures to no figures, but
to no figures.
yeah, man.
well, shit, let's wrap it up, man. This was a good-ass conversation. Thank you very much, Oscar. It was a pleasure always having you here. You know what I'm saying? So, ladies and gentlemen, episode 10 is in the books. So stay on the lookout for that. We're going to wrap this podcast up. Peace, peace, peace. Shout out to AV once again behind the camera. We out.